Hi, my name is Raheem Nelson of Raheem Nelson Art. I'm an illustrator, graphic designer. I do children's books, I do photography, and I do general illustration. I am involved with the Arts Council and Arts and Ideas. I do different projects. I am also an educator. I work at James Hill House High School as a paraprofessional, and I love creating artwork that inspires people, that makes people think, that motivates people. And what that can look like is me doing artist talks, different workshops, talking about things like NFTs, any kind of art that's innovative and moving the culture. One thing I really love about creating art is taking it from the studio, and I can work anywhere because I'm a mobile digital artist, and bringing that for people to see, people to consume, to talk about. I create artwork that has to do with political comics sometimes, so that involves me being on Twitter or social media, looking for different stories I can give, put a spin on, and give my unique perspective. I think art is meant to make people inspired, but it's also meant to make people feel uncomfortable and think about, just their lives, how they approach things, maybe even how they adapt to things. And I think it's my job as an artist to kind of take that information, absorb it, and then turn it into something. And it becomes like therapeutic for me because it could be something that's in the media that might disturb me a bit. Like, how do I process that? How do I deal with it? I usually turn to my art for that, for a healthy outlet, and then turning that on my audience, to just see how they interpret it. One project that was really impactful for me, I'm thinking of the Arts Council specifically. I started curating art shows pretty much right out of college. I took a trip to the Midwest to visit some family, and they wanted me to create a mural on their garage. And at the same time, the Arts Council looked to me to put together a show on different comic book artists. So I was curating an art show that was going to be for the Arts Council of Greater New Haven while I was in the Midwest, while I was working on another project. So that's just how committed I am to creating art gallery pieces and just kind of curating art and just making things happen, even if I have to do it from another state. I love putting together showcases. That's definitely something I want to get back into, just kind of curating and helping other artists showcase what they do. It's something I'm really passionate about. So welcome to my talk. It's what are NFTs and what do they mean for artists? We're going to be discussing that. First and foremost, I use a platform called Voice HQ. I use it because it's a simple way to create NFTs. They call it minting an NFT. And this piece here, it's something I created while I was in Paris, France in 2018. This painting was created live in front of a group of friends I had just met while I was over there. And to me, encapsulates the artwork I was absorbing from the Louvre and d'Orsay, and just kind of distilling that into one image. It's basically, My Last Night in Paris is the name of it. So let's just get into it. What is an NFT? NFT stands for non-fungible token, meaning one of a kind. A digital token that you can buy or sell. So think of it like a limited edition baseball card or like a Pokemon card. They're going to be different editions, or it can be just one of one. A real-world example might be a bottle of wine. No two are exactly the same, even if they cost the same amount. NFTs can be a digital image, GIF, or even a song. NFTs can represent real-world experiences like a ticket to a concert or an art show. So you can go online, find a marketplace that you like Voice or OpenSea, and you can even buy a ticket to an art show or a music showcase, and you get that in the digital realm, and it represents something you can do in real life. So it has different assets and qualities to it that way. What is blockchain? Blockchain is a system of recording information in a way that makes it difficult or impossible to change, hack, or cheat the system. A blockchain is essentially a digital ledger of transactions that is duplicated and distributed across the entire network of computer systems on the blockchain. So it's super secure, and I love NFTs in the blockchain because I'm able to see all the transactions. I'm able to see who is selling my work, who's trading it, and it just makes it really easy. So I don't have to chase anybody down. All the information is readily available. NFTs and copyright. Copyright is a collection of rights that automatically vest to someone who creates an original work of authorship, like a literary work, song, or movie. These rights include the right to reproduce work, to prepare derivative works, to distribute copies, and to perform and display the work publicly. And that comes from the Copyright Alliance. Creators should only mint NFTs of works they own the complete rights to, having been the originator of the work or a collaborator. That's another great feature of this platform. You can have different collaborations that's just put up in the forefront, and when those pieces sell, those royalties will go right to the the creators. And so usually when you're creating artwork, you have contracts and things like that, which is all great. You can have that in addition to having the NFTs do the contract as well. It just happens automatically. So everybody gets the profits, solves a lot of infighting as well. So think of it this way. When you buy a physical painting, you buy the work itself, but not the intellectual property. The intellectual property remains with the artist. It's the same way with NFTs. Why NFTs? NFTs are proverbially scarce. When an NFT is minted, meaning created, the required attribute is the number of copies made. This is encoded within the NFT and auditable via blockchain. So you can just go into that ledger and find it. So if you're taking a screenshot of the work, it doesn't mean you own the 1 of 1 or 1/80th token. That's the NFT. That gives you the ownership to the work. Big thing with NFTs is the clout and the hype. And, like I got this crypto ape piece, people are going to want to see that record. Like even the collector, they're going to make sure they have a record of that. That's having that important, not the IP, but you're having that copy that says, hey, like I bought this NFT, I'm able to display this on Twitter, Facebook, or whatever you want to show it, even like a virtual gallery. So where do you buy or sell NFTs? Digital artwork NFTs are mostly bought and sold on specialized marketplaces like Zora, VoiceHQ, Rarible, and OpenSea being the biggest one. What is cryptocurrency? Cryptocurrency is a digital currency that has the same purpose as physical currency, which is to act as a medium of exchange. So people can use cryptocurrency to pay for goods and services, but it's more commonly known as a speculative type of investment asset. So buy, sell, trade. Also known as crypto, cryptocurrency uses blockchain technology to record transactions in a ledger system. I always like to think of it like a bank. The most important aspect of this technology is that it can be viewed publicly, but it can't be changed or controlled by a single entity, making cryptocurrency secure for online transactions and nearly impossible to counterfeit. What is a crypto wallet? A crypto wallet holds your cryptocurrency funds and is used to buy and sell NFTs on most platforms. They also allow you to send, receive, and send cryptocurrencies like Bitcoin and Ethereum. Bitcoin and Ethereum being like the biggest cryptocurrencies. Those are usually the ones talked about in the media. What is a gas fee? The gas fee is a fee that the user must pay to offset the computing energy used by the network, which is required to process a transaction on the Ethereum blockchain. Gas fees are similar to processing fees that credit cards may incur to transfer money to various accounts or pay bills. So for most NFTs, when you create it, you're going to encounter that gas fee. Most NFTs use Ethereum. It's kind of been changing lately, but Ethereum, it's like gas price. It goes up and goes down. And that platform you're using, they want to make sure that you're buying into it. So there's that upfront fee. So that's basically the way to think about it, just like an upfront fee for creating NFTs for most platforms. So these are some of the biggest NFT sales to date from artists like Beeple and Deepak and the CryptoPunk series as well. So just off the chart, especially when NFTs were on the come up again, like 69.3 million, 28.9 million, like and counting. So the market kind of fluctuates, but NFTs are hot. People want to buy into it. Collectors really get a lot out of it, and they're willing to pay as well. So it's just a good thing to know and keep in mind as an artist. So why do I personally mint on Voice? So there are no gas fees involved in buying or selling NFTs on Voice. Voice makes it so you can use a credit or debit card to purchase art. When I'm telling people about the NFTs I'm creating, it's pretty easy to get them onto the marketplace and be, just checking it out. because they don't have to have that crypto wallet that I mentioned before. They can just go in and like, hey, well, I like this piece that Raheem did, just last week. I want to buy it. They can just buy it with a credit or debit card. So it makes it super simple and really easy, and just accessible to people that might be interested. So yeah, not needing that wallet is great, and then creating an account is very easy too. So a few facts about Voice. Voice is 65,000 times more energy efficient than Bitcoin, and Voice is 17,000 times more energy efficient than Ethereum. So it has that going for it. So what does that mean in more tangible terms? The average American home has 67 lights. If Voice were equivalent to one light bulb, then the power consumption of Bitcoin is 992 homes. Ethereum is 257 homes. Voice achieves this through delegated proof of stake, a blockchain consensus algorithm, which does not require huge server farms to mine for a solution. So put simply, Voice is very energy efficient, and I love using it, and I love that the company considers people, considers artists, and just considers being good for the environment. So here are some of my pieces on Voice. I really love doing pop art. So that's prominently featured on my site, the platform that I use. So I've got pieces like cream cookies, apple muffins, chocolate chip muffin, so on and so forth. So those are priced at $25. When I'm pricing my work, I try to think like, what tier is it going to fall under? Is it going to be like 25, 50, 100, so on and so forth? And I also think about, did I have to travel to create this piece of art? The pieces listed below, those are from Barcelona, so I had to hop on a plane, I had to plan, I had to schedule. So all that goes into the price and how it's affected. And the last thing I want to mention too is there are editions. Like if you look up, you can see that it says 10 for most of these, all of these. 10 editions is what I'm selling per piece. So it's 25 per edition. And then so my collectors, anybody browsing, is going to realize, oh, okay, this artist is selling 10 editions of this piece, where some, it might just be a one-of-one edition. And I just try to think of it that way and convey it to your average user or somebody that might be interested, just in terms of the art market. Like, okay, you have editions of a painting, even a digital piece, you might do a few editions of it, and then it's discontinued. It's the same with NFTs. 10 editions, and then it's discontinued, or a one-of-one, and then it's discontinued, and that person can keep selling it and trading it, maybe sell it to a friend. And another great thing, too, is if that sale happens, a secondary sale, I'm still getting a profit off of that, off of the secondary sale. I don't have to do anything about it. It's linked to my account, and it comes to me automatically, which is just amazing. So lower barriers to entry, one of the benefits of NFTs for creators. So much like it did for musicians, authors, digital medium significantly lowers the barriers to entry for creators of art and collectibles. They don't have the same gatekeepers to deal with as the analog world. What's more, they avoid the enormous hassle and upfront investment required to set up the manufacturing and distribution of several thousand physical collectibles and more. So I can just create something digitally, because I'm an iPad artist, put it on Voice, sell it for X amount of dollars, and then I make that. I don't have to leave my house, so it's like super convenient. Number 2, easy access to a global market. As with all things digital that are traded online, it's easy to reach a global market. While you may not be able to market your work to all jurisdictions in the world due to regulatory issues, you certainly have a much bigger market than what you're limited to based on your local community. Not everyone has the same easy access to conventions, exhibitions, galleries, or even like-minded people nearby. Even for the ones who do, it doesn't come close to the scale of the internet. Number 2, continued. Sure, traditional art and collectibles are also traded online, but the prospect of shipping a piece of art worth millions of dollars across the globe is likely to unnerve both the buyer and the seller. Furthermore, a physical piece is just more likely to attract buyers who have the chance to see it in the way it's meant to be seen, in a person's home, private collection, exhibition, or convention. The digital world levels the playing field and makes art and collectibles equally accessible to everyone, regardless of their location in the world. And you can also display NFTs in a gallery sense as well. You can take a monitor or something special like that, just kind of prop it up and kind of create that gallery experience for somebody that might want it, because that's a question that comes up too. Like, are you just going to keep it on your phone, or you keep it on your iPad? Like, no, there are a lot of different ways you can display this thing, and it's not limited like a piece of physical artwork would be. So 3, and I mentioned this earlier, automatic royalties. Artists typically have their payday when they first sell a new piece, but miss out on the profits when it's later traded on the secondary market. Since art typically only gains its true value long after its creation, the lack of royalties has historically left artists with just a fraction of what their art is worth, while making collectors and speculators rich. Many people are surprised by how little even the most well-known artists have actually made in their careers. 3 continued. Now, instead of that, imagine that artists automatically get 10% or 20% of all future sales of their work. If a piece of work is originally sold at $10K and then later at $100K, and after that for $1 million, the creator who makes $10K in traditional market now makes $120K with a 10% royalty, or $230K with a 20% royalty in the digital market. So tons of benefits for the creator. Now, let's look at it from the collector side point. On the other hand, NFTs are very interesting options for art collectors because you are buying and potentially investing at the same time in a new revolution and also in the art itself. So it's the movement versus the art itself, and then you have the artist too on top of that. Some believe that NFTs will completely change the art world as much as Bitcoin and Ethereum will change the financial system. Like all investments, however, as an investor, you need to research the NFT market as well. Tons of research required. The value of an NFT or crypto art is determined by the same principles of all other assets, old law of supply and demand. As an online community of collectors and buyers and investors grow over time, demand increases, so it just benefits the entire market. At the same time, as more artists see NFT art as a better option for their creations, the supply increases. So again, rules of supply and demand, looking at the traditional art world, and then also applying it in this new space. Investing in non-fungible tokens, NFTs, is a personal decision. If you have money to spare, it's worth considering NFT art, music, sports, crypto collectibles, gaming items, so on and so forth. If a piece is meaningful to you or simply financially supporting an artist, investing in crypto art, especially if you believe in the value, is somewhat less risky. For you know that the piece of digital art is authentic and you know who made it, you can trace the ownership and whether it's an edition or not. So to take that on a personal level, I love networking on Twitter. I've gotten to know a lot of different artists through that platform. And I bought some NFTs, I've been gifted some NFTs, and I've sold NFTs to friends. And it's really cool having that relationship with that artist that created that NFT, where I can ask them about their process, why they chose a certain price point. So me getting to know these NFT artists and really build this entire community enables me to get knowledge, give knowledge, and I'm also like making new friends. So like it's been absolutely incredible kind of collecting art and selling it too, and just being on both sides of the table. So NFTs can function like a membership card, tickets, providing access to events like I mentioned earlier, inclusive merchandise, and many other things. And the blockchain is public, so it's possible to send additional products directly to anyone who was given the NFT or bought it. So what that looks like is having unlockable content. So you buy an NFT that is a one-of-one or an edition or something. Maybe an artist could give like a time-lapse video of the process or like commentary on how it was made. There are a lot of different applications to kind of reward people that are investing earlier into your art and just make it so everything is easily tracked. It's like they can, go online, they can kind of brag about it. It's like, I got this NFT from this artist, and then I ended up getting this collectible as well, and they're never going to sell it again. So like tons of really great ways of building community engagement and having collectors come back for more. So owning an NFT effectively makes you an investor, a member of a club, so to speak, or a brand shareholder, and a participant in a loyalty program. All these different ways of looking at NFTs for art. So this means that NFT-based markets can emerge and gain traction very quickly, especially if celebrities are involved. Like Paris Hilton said something about NFTs on Jimmy Fallon's show, I believe, and then that ape collection is really taken off. So having that ambassadorship, that endorsement, helps out a lot too. Like those early collectors, especially if they have fame and all that, it will help take a collection over the top. And, it's just good for the market in general. So that can be an investment. If you invest early, it can be a risk. But, again, you want to make sure you do that research and really see if it's something you want to get into. So becoming part of that thriving community. I mentioned online. Twitter is great. Instagram is really good, too, for NFTs, especially since Instagram is very visual. So I've taken some of my NFTs and I've actually turned them into reels on Instagram. So I'll add music to it and just kind of do breakdowns. The next NFT project I'm going to be working on is going to be about fashion illustration. So it'll be like you're getting a piece of art and then thinking about that unlockable content and giving them something extra. That piece of art that you're going to be seeing, which is going to be called the OOTD series, like the Outfit of the Day series, you're going to be getting style advice from it. So you get to see like this little, almost like an animation where it's like an illustration of me wearing like maybe a navy suit or something more casual, the breakdown of what the brands are, and then like, okay, why did I choose to wear this? Where would I wear this? So like I want to be creating artwork that's going to be helping people. And I've gotten a lot of questions about fashion over the years, and I do a little consultation here and there, but I really want to take that and merge it with art and the NFT space. So that's going to be the next thing I'm doing. So again, you're getting something unique, and it's all up to the artist, how they want to package it, how they want to market it. You can get something absolutely amazing. Some of my artist friends are really getting into the animation sector, and they're making, even like little music videos and selling those as NFTs. So it's been like really cool to just kind of see those pop up, and, we're all inspiring each other. It's just a really big community. So this is my best seller. I don't think that's the most accurate number, actually. I think I sold a few more. But this is called Citrus, and I created this just as a still life, just different pieces of fruit. And I put it up for sale. It was one of the first NFTs I put up. And I think last November, I started seeing those sales move, with the marketing and the branding I was doing. And I think it's just like a fun piece for spring and summer. And I think it really resonates with people. And when I created it, I didn't really think too much of it. Like I did it as like an art exercise. Like, oh, this would be cool to, do an illustration of fruit. I love having food illustrations in my portfolio. But, just message to artists and creative people in general, like you can create something. It might have one meaning to you, but it might mean something completely different to somebody else. Like, you're not always going to know what your hits are going to be. Like, sometimes you might get one right, but like, for this, like it just kind of blindsided me in a good way where I was like, oh, well, like this is doing well. I'm selling these editions, and it happened to be like my best seller. So it was pretty cool to be in that space, with the NFTs. So this part of the screen, it will show you, this is my voice page and everything. So 39 of 50 editions remaining at the time. Lists me as a creator. I can cancel the sale if I need to for some reason, and I'm charging $20 for it, and they list, USD. So I've got the option to share it with the NFT community, meaning Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, that kind of thing. And this was originally supposed to be just NFT for the holiday season, but it kind of took off, so I kept it on the marketplace, so to speak. And so they get into the nitty gritty, and they tell you the creator share of the appreciation. So I'm getting 20%, for resales. Everything, just plain English, easy to follow. Right there. Even collectors can find out what file type it is, and then the file size as well. And then, again, I am the owner of the piece, so I have the IP, and then anybody else is buying into the edition. So it's very transparent. So here's that ledger, that blockchain that I was mentioning before, and I have this record for my reference on everybody that has purchased one of these, down to the number of edition, down to the price, because it's all the same price, but I'm able to just kind of see that from my records. And really, it's inspiring, too. Like, I do this thing where I'll create these NFT infographics on just the sales that I have, and just kind of being able to go back and see who has bought my work. And, I'm friends with some of these people as well, so I can go and thank them, maybe even give them like unlockable content down the line. because I think it's important to kind of like reward your collectors. So sometimes I'll throw out a free NFT, maybe do 100 editions, put it out on Twitter, and people can just kind of grab that. And grabbing a free NFT is pretty easy. Like, you're just making an account, and then like you download it, and then like it's in there in your library, good to go. Here are some of the NFTs I've collected. I've either bought some of these or I've been gifted them. My collection's much bigger now. The first one that I got was that Dreamer of Dreams NFT, the one where it says music down below. And it just spoke to me. Like, I love black and white photography, so I just definitely had to grab that one. And then some of these other ones I either got through different auctions or different listings, sometimes free, sometimes paid. But it's great being a collector and an artist at the same time, which is kind of a new experience for me. So this piece is called Sunset Over the Marine School. I have the 11th out of 100 of these editions. So that's in my library, and I have all the facts. I see that that's the creator. If I scroll forward, here is one of the infographics that I mentioned. NFT Soul and Voice is the name. So this was like one of the earlier ones I've made. I've updated it since. But Citrus, I've sold the most editions of that. I have 11 editions sold. Purple was a one-of-one piece I did. Actually sold to a former Arts Council person, Jose Montero. He got that one from me. It was a New Orleans piece. It really spoke to me. I did it live when I was in New Orleans, and I told him I was creating NFTs. So that was the one that he bought. So I was really happy that he was able to support my art and just get one of those. Pretzels, that was a one-of-one edition. Another still life that ended up taking off. Avocado toast. And then Old Havana ended up selling one of those too. And the Old Havana piece, I did that while actually being there, which was incredible. I created a ton of art while I was in Cuba. I took a trip there in 2018. So I created a lot of artwork that, I've kind of shown it here and there, but like it's all taken on a new life in this NFT space, where I'm able to kind of showcase it differently. So it's really great. Like, I'm going through my portfolio, I'm finding pieces that are like 5-6 years old, and I'm putting them online. And, there are a lot of people that haven't seen my work. I'm still getting discovered. So that might be new to them. So, like, just a ton of different directions you can go on with this as an artist. Another infographic that I made, this one's NFT art marketing tips for busy artists. I attend a lot of spaces on Twitter, and I like to do graphic recording. So that involves me going into a meeting, kind of listening for information, and kind of creating this. So this was how I connected with the NFT community initially when I was getting into the space, and is really how I got them to take notice of me, because I wasn't just creating art and selling it. I was creating some pieces that were really designed to give back to people. Like, what if somebody missed this talk on Twitter Spaces? Well, now you can look at this infographic. So I really love taking pieces like that and just kind of putting them out there. This one was a personal project called NFT Art Challenges. So I'm always doing research on the market from the artist standpoint and the collector standpoint, and just kind of breaking it down to these tiers, with this graphic recording. And the main tiers being standing out, the market's oversaturated, crowded, similar projects as well, being visible. So different things that artists might encounter. And then, just seeing that, there are artists that are getting burnt out in the space because they're not getting the traction that they might want to get. So me, I like to help out by like creating things like this where they can kind of sound off and voice their opinion too. And like, really, nobody's alone, but sometimes we feel that way. And also having scams, who you can trust, NFTs getting stolen, so on and so forth, narrative, education, and then prices. So just kind of taking the education that I'm gaining through this and the research, and then kind of, again, pointing that back to people that might not have that knowledge. So it's like a big circle. And then this one is another personal project, NFT Art Goals. This was the first infographic I created for the goals. Just create, achieve, and share. I want to create quality NFTs. I want to create community, connections, financial sustainability. And what I want to achieve is, $1,000 in sales. I'm almost at that $1,000 mark, thankfully. Like, things have really been going well. Having consistent buyers, definitely getting to that point as well. Consistent sales. And I want to share with the NFT community, create those NFT infographics like I mentioned, educating and uplifting the work of other artists on social media. So I like to do these to kind of refresh myself, like see where I've landed, what goals did I meet, what goals am I still working on, and it's a good way to just kind of reassess where things are going. So another one, NFT art, sales, and marketing. This is for Twitter Spaces that I sat in on, just taking those high-level points and information that I'm hearing and just kind of writing that down. Because what I learn in sales and marketing, I like to give back to others, whether it's through like a workshop or something like this where you can just find it on Twitter or IG. So let's get into the demo now. We are going to mint an NFT live. I've been doing a lot of talking, so I'm going to show you how to create an NFT live right now. So I'm going to be creating an NFT for you live. First, I'm going to go over the piece that I'm choosing and why I chose it. It's my library and the app called Procreate. I'm just going to pick this bomber jacket here. It's something that I like to wear often, good for fall, spring, summer. Procreate gives me a time-lapse feature, so I can play that back so you can see just how the piece was made, time-lapse replay. Start with a blue line sketch. I'll slow this down a little bit. Blue line sketch, since I have a cartooning background, and then I'm going over that in digital ink, so to speak, and then just flat colors. And I just want to make a really nice fashion illustration. So if I want to get that into my library so I can get it up on voice, I hit this wrench tool that's near gallery, and then I hit share, and then I like to do a PNG file for the colors. So I hit save, it's in my library. Now I'm going to go to Safari. This is my voice page, and where I have all the NFTs, either the ones that are for sale or not for sale. So first I'm going to do, I'm going to go and hit create, which is near the profile picture on the right-hand side. And this is the upload screen. So you have upload a file, and then it lets you know what media you can use, JPEG, PNG, so on and so forth. And then I can say if I want to do it as a single or if I want to do it as editions. So for this one, I think I'm just going to do editions. And I can choose the number of editions. I am going to do 10. And so from there, I can upload the file. I just tap it once, and since I'm on an iPad, it's going to say photo library. And then I'm just going to grab this bomber jacket that's in there, lets me know the size, hit use, and it gives you the progress bar so I can upload. Okay, so 100% lets me know the media type, size, and then that's how it's going to look for the preview. So I attest I own the rights. I do. Hit continue, and I'm going to give it a title. Let's call this bomber jacket without all caps. Then a little description. Okay. And then I can even select the category. The category makes it so that these illustrations, these NFTs, can be found easily because there are a lot of different categories. So graphic design, animation, digital illustration, digital painting, sculpture, photography, mixed media, and other. For this, I'm just going to pick digital illustration. Unlockable content, I will do time-lapse video. And what that means, whoever buys one of these, they're going to be getting the time-lapse video that I showed earlier about the bomber jacket. So I can just email that to them if I know them, if I have their email, or I can just send it to them by their username on voice. Hit continue. And I can even add a co-creator if I want. I created this individually, but if I added somebody, instead of that creative contribution, which would be what I earn off the first sale, and then the 10% royalty after that, it would be 50-50. So that happens automatically, which is great. So I just got to review the details because you have to make sure you get this right the first time. You can't edit it after it's on the blockchain because I said before you can't edit that blockchain. So I'm just going to review it. 10 editions, titles of bomber jacket, an illustration of a named bomber jacket, categories digital illustration, and then for the unlockable content, I have the time-lapse video. And I can only see that. Like, people aren't going to be able to see that by just browsing. They have to buy in first. So lets me know that voice will charge 5% fee on the first sale, and then 2.5% fee on other sales after that. And the minimum to list on Voice is, just 50 cents. So it has to be above that to sell. So I agree to the terms, and I'm creating it. So I'm creating it, but it doesn't mean it's for sale yet. This just means it's in my library, so to speak. If I want to list it for sale, I hit where it says List Editions, and then we get into the price point part of it. So it's going to be a fixed price, but I can also do an auction. If I did a one-of-one edition, I would be able to do that for an auction. But for the sake of this, it's just going to be that fixed price. So for this fashion illustration, did it pretty quickly, love it, but I think I'm going to be pricing this for $50 per edition. So I hit continue, and it's on the market. If I want to share this with people, I copy the link, and I can go to like a Facebook or a Twitter or an Instagram, and I can share it that way. And that is how you mint or create an NFT on Voice. So you can find my NFTs on voice.com/Raheem Nelson. And I'll go over to my profile so you can see it again. At Raheem Nelson on Voice, where you can see all my NFTs, different price points, usually starting at like $20 for the price point. That's all my work there. And then if you want to find my website, you can find me at raheemnelson.com. And that has my NFTs. It has a direct link to that. And you can get prints through me, and you can just see my entire portfolio, including some of the collaborations that I've done with different brands like the Arts Council, like Arts and Ideas, like Black Hog Brewery. All of it's available to view here. So raheemnelson.com, voice.com/Raheem Nelson is how you find me.